we go again.
Hello, students. Welcome to the trial grounds. I'm glad you could join me here today. Each of the 16 podiums before you has been labeled with a nameplate. Please make your way to your podium. This is where you will stand for the duration of the trial. Please do not disturb the unoccupied podiums.
Those are Isuno, Sasaki, and Chiba's podiums, right?
That's correct.
The hell is this?
You've been provided with seating arrangements to avoid another unnecessary intermission.
That's stupid!
But then, you sat down anyway?
Before we start talking, can we do something about the gun?
Yeah, I'd really like that.
Pass it here.
Here.
There. Safety's on.
Maybe you should keep that at your podium for now.
I second that.
Agreed.
So should we dive right in with what we know? 'Cause, Hasegawa and I have a lot to say. We covered a lot of ground.
I think it might be smarter to start with what we already know. Just to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Alright, well, Hama's the one who found her, right? So, Hama, tell us exactly how your morning went down.
Me? I woke up, and then I went to go get Chiba, 'cause she usually hangs out in my room while I do my morning workout.
You knocked on her door?
Yeah, but she wasn't there, so I thought maybe she was still climbing. And I went to go check out the auditorium. And she was hanging there.
Alright, your testimony's noted. I'd like to hear everyone else's testimonies as well.
So we're starting with testimonies again. How useful is that going to be if we don't even know when she died?
Fine, then let's sort out when she died. I've kind of been wondering that too.
Yeah, I was under the impression that she died in the night, but she's in the auditorium.
The last time I saw her was a little bit before the nighttime announcement went off. Did anyone see her after that?
Actually, that's still telling. Did anyone see her go back to her room? Where was everyone when the nighttime announcement went off? Was there anyone around who should have seen her go back to her room?
I was walking back from the AV room.
To where?
My room. It didn't take too long, though. I could have missed her pretty easily.
I was with her, so my testimony's much of the same.
I was already settled in for the night by then.
I think everyone was.
Damn it. Alright. So, nobody would have seen her either way. Does anyone know if Chiba locks her door?
Never.
Yeah, it's always unlocked.
That's generally inadvisable.
Yeah, seriously, can people stop leaving their fucking doors unlocked?
I'd like to second that notion. I wasn't expecting it to become such a phenomenon.
Shut up. Who asked you?
So we know that Chiba was in the auditorium right before the nighttime announcement, and we know that she was dead in the auditorium by morning. Is it possible that she went back to her room at night, then went back to the auditorium when she woke up?
I woke up right at the morning announcement. I couldn't have taken more than 10 or 15 minutes to get down there. Is that enough time?
Not sure. Crime scene team?
Pretty sure that's a no. Yanagi, how dry was the blood?
Fairly dry.
Wait, huh? Since when was there blood?
Oh, we found blood too.
I think we're starting to get a bit sidetracked. Maybe now is a good time to go over everyone's investigations. It might help fill in some of the gaps.
Good idea.
Then I'll go first, because I'm in charge.
Well, I'm in charge.
And I'm second in charge.
Literally none of you are in charge.
I kind of thought Hayashi was in charge.
Same.
Guys, it doesn't matter who goes first. We're all gonna talk.
Then I'll start. Wada and I investigated the art room, library, drama room, music room, AV room, storage closet, and bathrooms. We found absolutely nothing.
Right.
Well, except for a bit of a mess in the library. Someone's been leaving books out.
Sorry. I got tired last night and forgot to go put them away when I was done studying.
Forgiven.
But And most libraries are really not supposed to reshelve the books as a patron, so...
Damn right. Put it on the cart.
Or on the table at some places.
Objection! Relevance!
Aside from that, we didn't really find anything at all, which is frustrating.
Then we can probably move...
Oh, actually, hold on. I just remembered something. Well, during the investigation, I was kind of starting to think that Wada might have killed her. You know?
What?
Well, she was hanging from the vent, right? So I started building this theory that maybe she had been killed in the vent. Kamimura wouldn't have been able to get up there, but Wada probably could have. So I thought maybe he followed her up into the vent and killed her.
There's literally no way in hell Wada could have climbed that rope.
I mean, I could say the same thing about Chiba, but she didn't. Anyway, I thought that's what had happened, but then when we were investigating the closet, he mentioned he was claustrophobic, which would have made it kind of hard for him to use the vent.
Unless he was lying.
Which is exactly what I thought. So I conducted an experiment.
What?
I locked him in a bathroom stall for a couple minutes.
What?
As a result, I can safely say he was not lying. His reaction was pretty genuine. I don't think he could have done it.
What's wrong with you? It couldn't have been him anyway. I was with him all night.
Oh, really? I guess I could have just asked you then.
Okay. In the future, don't do that.
Maybe we should try to keep the investigation a bit more ethical?
What? Ethical?
Tsuno, what did you guys find?
Sorry, I was with Hama. We investigated the classrooms, main office, staff room, and bathrooms. Didn't find a single thing. I'm not sure if the killer was over on that side of the school at all, honestly.
I feel like I kind of want to hear more about what the crime scene team found.
Sure thing. Hayashi?
Kamimura, Yanagi, and I were stationed in the auditorium. Less evidence than you'd think in there, but we had a few standouts at least.
For sure. The ladder that we've been using to get up to the rope? The one that was lying broken on the floor this morning? Not broken. Disassembled. We couldn't fix it.
Someone took the pieces.
Wait, so they took it apart on purpose?
Right.
I'd assume it was to keep us from investigating Chiba's body too closely. There were definitely a few things on that body that they didn't want us to find.
Sucks to be them, we got up there anyway. Yanagi?
Right. She was hanging by her neck. The rope was knotted around her a few times. There was, blood all down her back and her chest and in her mouth.
Fingernails.
And under her fingernails. Right.
Blood? I didn't see any blood.
Yeah, okay, so that part's kind of weird. You know how she was hanging in her pajamas?
Yeah?
That was actually her second layer of clothing. She was wearing her gym clothes under that.
What?
Why?
I mean, probably to cover up the blood, right? That's the only thing I can think of, at least.
There was also a pretty good amount of blood on the mattresses.
Right. We flipped them all over just to check. But 2 of them were stained with blood.
2 separate blood stains. Both of them were pretty big.
We found blood too.
Yeah, same.
So did we.
What? Where?
Locker rooms.
Both of them?
Medbay.
Dorms.
Whose dorm?
I mean...
Hold on. Before we get into that, I'm so confused. She definitely died in the auditorium, right? Like, we're sure of that, right?
Definitely.
Pretty certain, yeah. If there's blood on the mattresses, I think it had to have been the auditorium.
I think that's the only way the timeline works out.
Okay, so then why is there blood anywhere else?
We should rule out the idea that any blood might be unrelated to the crime scene. That's what happened last time, right? There were a few different bloodstains that weren't relevant.
Okay, let's go through them then. Was anybody bleeding in the medbay?
I mean, not since a few days ago, and we definitely cleaned that up after.
Right.
What did the blood in the medbay look like?
It was kind of like a smudge. A smudge, and a few drops around the smudge that were unsmudged. Yeah.
Wow, Thanks for really busting out the layman's terms there.
Is there really terminology for bloodstains?
Anyway, nobody wants to admit to bleeding in the med bay. Okay, so that one's probably relevant then. What about the locker rooms? There was blood in both?
Yeah, it was super weird.
Hasegawa and Tamba were the ones who found it originally. They sent us over to investigate a little deeper.
Yeah, and I'm glad they did. Because we found some crazy evidence. We thought it was super weird that both bloodstains were right in the middle of the room. So we measured it in paces.
Right. It turns out they weren't just in the same spot. They were in the exact same spot. The exact same distance from the locker room door in both rooms.
What the hell?
That's really weird.
And does anyone want to explain that one? Okay, so that one's probably related too. What about the third one?
Well, should we say?
Of course we should say! It's evidence! Evidence that points directly to the killer!
What?
We found a bloodstain, alright, in Hiroaki's room! In his bed!
In my bed?
So you think that means he did it, then?
I mean, it's certainly something to be suspicious of.
Are you kidding me? Like I would ever bleed in my own bed. Ever! Why is there blood in my bed?
Hold on. That doesn't automatically mean he's suspicious. I mean, there was blood in the medbay too, and blood in the locker rooms.
Actually, that wasn't the only weird thing we found in the medbay. There was a weird amount of fire damage.
Fire damage?
Weird. I wonder how that got there.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Is it? I thought
It's super crazy.
Alright, before we even dive into whatever the fuck they're talking about, can we please just finish talking about the investigations? I just want to make sure we have all the info we need moving forward.
Can we talk about how Kamimura's feet don't reach the floor when he's sitting like that?
The chair is admittedly somewhat high. We wanted to ensure he could see over the podium.
None of this is relevant at all. Can we talk about the investigation?
Right. Well, I guess we should go next then.
I think that's a good idea. Want me to start?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Hasegawa and I investigated the locker rooms and the dorms. You guys already know about the blood in the locker rooms, but as for the dorms, there's kind of a lot to unpack. We did the girls' side first, but when we were checking out Sasaki's room, it was weirdly empty?
What?
Yeah, Wada, Tsuno, you said her desk had a lot of notebooks on it, right?
Yeah, she had a ton of them.
We didn't see that at all. It was almost entirely empty.
What? That's weird.
Maybe Monomoko cleared it out since she's gone now?
I did not. When a student is killed, their room will remain exactly how they left it. Unless a student decides to tamper with it, I suppose.
Then someone's taking her notebooks?
Nakamigawa!
Takeshi!
Hey! Don't even think about it.
I wasn't going to.
I don't care. Stay over there.
I'm sorry.
Hiroaki, are you taking her notebooks?
A few, yeah, but...
You...
Again, she would have wanted me to! She said so!
You're still reading her journal?
How is this anyone else's business?
Oh my fucking god, can we please focus? Who cares? Hiroaki took the journals, case fucking closed. This has nothing to do with Chiba. Tell us about the next room.
Right. Chiba's room. It was messy, but I don't think there was anything too weird in there.
Honestly, my mind is kind of on the fact that the killer would have had to go into her room to get her pajamas. Did nobody see any of that happen?
Nope. Didn't see a thing.
Sorry.
Hell, I feel like we're losing so much evidence to bad timing.
Then we went to... Hey! Hold on! Then we got interrupted by Kamimura.
What? Interrupted? I was minding my own business. You're the one who flagged me down.
Why were you in the dormitories? You were supposed to be stationed in the auditorium.
Jesus, can you relax? I was getting a toolkit.
We were trying to fix the ladder.
I sent him for one.
Well, that makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is why you couldn't just get your own toolkit.
Huh?
You told me that you were getting a toolkit for Yanagi, but then you didn't get Yanagi's toolkit or your toolkit. You got Hasegawa's toolkit.
Tamba.
So why? Stop looking at me like I'm a jerk for even asking. We need to follow every lead we have. The killer probably used their toolkit to take apart the ladder, right? So if you're suddenly trying to use someone else's toolkit instead of your own, that's suspicious!
She does raise a good point, actually. Kamimura, why didn't you get your own toolkit?
He doesn't have one.
What? Everyone has one!
Yeah, but not anymore. I mean, I borrowed it.
What? Why would you borrow it?
I was studying in his room and I needed to use it for something, so I borrowed it, and then I forgot to give it back.
Needed it for what? You are such a terrible liar!
Well, I mean...
Way to make yourself look even more suspicious.
And this is why I randomly assigned the pairs.
I took Hasegawa's because I didn't want Yanagi touching my fucking toolkit. It freaks me out when people touch my stuff, okay? God, now get off my ass about this.
We can probably move on from it for now, at least. Which room did you investigate next?
My own room.
I investigated it. Nothing suspicious.
Then Hayashi's room.
Which, we're really sorry for going in your room without asking Hayashi.
Relax, you're fine.
Well, actually, we did find something in your room. Right, Hasegawa?
Huh?
The zip ties.
Oh, right. On the bedpost.
There was a little chain of zip ties, all linked together. What was that about?
Completely unrelated to the case. Yanagi was tied to my bed last night.
Huh?
Yanagi?
Why him and not me?
It's nothing like that. Truly, it wasn't. I mean, she was supervising
I
me.
was watching to make sure he didn't go anywhere. Can you people stop being idiots for 5 seconds? Yanagi was in my bed, I was by the door. Get your damn minds out of the gutter. I didn't go anywhere near him until I cut the zip ties off his ankle in the morning.
Okay, so another thing unrelated to Chiba. Keep going.
Well, let me think. Nothing in Okazaki's room, nothing in Watari's room, nothing in Tsuno's room.
Nothing in Aizono's room either.
So then the boys, I guess? Nothing much in Kamimura's room. Ojima's room was pretty messy.
Did you not even make my bed?
I was kind of distracted by the body discovery announcement.
Oh. Right.
Wait, so, okay. Hiroaki was sleeping in Ojima's bed? How many people were having sleepovers last night?
We'll get to that when we talk about the alibis. Just keep going.
Wada had the oxygen tank in his room, which makes sense. Oh, also, way too much food. He had half the storage room in there. What the hell, Wada?
Huh?
The big stash of junk food under your bed. You're totally taking more than your fair share.
But, I mean, everyone else said that kind of food is gross, so... And I mean, the storage room doesn't get restocked, so... I just wanted to make sure
Can we please stick to things that are relevant to the case? If this suddenly becomes the case of the missing shitty microwave cup noodles, then sure, we can fucking discuss it. But it's a murder investigation, so focus! Jesus fucking...
Easy.
Just talk about the next fucking room.
Nothing in Yanagi's room, nothing in Harada's room, nothing in Hasegawa's room. Hiroaki's room is the one where we found the blood, though.
Is there seriously blood in my bed? Where the hell am I gonna sleep tonight?
You already don't sleep in your own bed.
That's not on purpose or anything. I just so happened to pass out in his bed while he was working. It's not like it's a big deal. He just goes and sleeps in my...
Now hold on a minute.
Did you bleed in my bed?
Oh, that does make sense.
Takeshi!
Listen, I don't even remember that. I don't think it was me.
Well, it's not like it was someone else. You're the only person with my key. You slept in my bed last night.
Are you alright, though? Why were you bleeding?
I mean, I think I'm fine. If I was bleeding, I really didn't notice it, but
So once again, we're in the middle of a trial, and you don't remember a critical piece of information about where you were or what you were doing during the murder.
Yeah. Pretty much. Sorry.
Takeshi!
Really, I'm sorry. I'll try to remember.
It really wasn't much blood at all, just a few drops. It might have been nothing.
Hama's room was last. There was a lot of Chiba's stuff in there, but I think it's usually there, right?
Yeah.
Then that's just about all we found, I think. I hope at least some of that info was useful.
Certainly wasn't completely useless. Who's next?
We'll go. Takeshi and I had the dining room, kitchen, laundry room, bathrooms, incinerator room, and pool. For about 4 of those, Ojima was completely checked out. So allow me to give you a recap.
Sorry again.
The dining room was pretty empty, except that someone was clearly in there either last night or this morning. Chairs were pulled out, there were dishes, there was a bag of chips. Clean up after yourselves. Seriously.
You're one to talk.
Nothing in the laundry room or bathrooms, but when we got to the incinerator room, the incinerator was on. That means someone either turned it on first thing in the morning, or someone turned it on during the investigation.
What?
So, does anyone want to fess up to that? Well, that's interesting.
Does that mean that someone was destroying evidence in the middle of the investigation?
Can't see it any other way.
But we were all in partners.
Okay, so then it's easy. Who split up during their investigation?
Wait, huh?
Whoever split up during their investigation is a suspect. I know it was a few of you.
Well, I mean, Watari and I split up, but I don't think either of us went anywhere near the incinerator, and it was only for a few minutes.
Besides, what evidence would we have been burning anyway? We couldn't exactly go to the auditorium and get anything.
Hama and I split up for a few minutes, too. But for most of that time, I was with Watari, and he was with Harada. It was only a few minutes. We wouldn't have had time to run downstairs to the incinerator.
I think we're forgetting that Kamimura was already at the crime scene, then split off and went to the dorms alone. It kind of sounds like he'd be the one running something from the crime scene to the incinerator.
He didn't take anything from the crime scene. There were 3 of us. We would have noticed.
The hell would I have taken? There was nothing to take.
The latter parts?
You cannot be buying this.
That's absurd.
Absurdly stupid. There's no way they'd incinerate. They're metal.
I mean, do they have to incinerate? As long as nobody could find them, that'd be fine, right? They'd just have to be inaccessible until the trial and you'd be good to go.
I wouldn't have had the chance to get the parts either way. Yanagi was the one working on the ladder.
So maybe you simply hid the parts in the auditorium earlier. You knew you'd be gutting the crime scene, after all. All you need to do is collect them and incinerate them later.
That would be so fucking pointless. If I was gonna get rid of the parts, why would I not get rid of them when I was disassembling the ladder?
Because it was nighttime. The incinerator would have been closed.
Okazaki! Why the hell are you doing this?
Hold on. It couldn't have been him anyway. I was with him all night.
Exactly.
All night? So, you didn't leave once?
Well...
I mean...
That's strange, Hasegawa. I distinctly remember running into you in the hall.
I only left a handful of times to go to the library. I couldn't have been gone for longer than 15 minutes at a time. And he was always there when I got back. He was asleep when I went back to my room.
I saw Kamimura in the medbay last night.
Yeah, I didn't really want to say anything, but I did too.
We did, didn't we? Strange.
I didn't do anything. This is stupid.
Hey, hold on. What were you guys doing in the medbay?
I'm a bit lost. Wasn't Wada meant to be in the medbay? I thought he felt sick yesterday.
We moved him back to his room just before nighttime.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Don't sidetrack us. What were the girls doing in the medbay?
Nothing weird.
Convincing.
Should we just say it? It's not like we were being suspicious. It was just a slumber party.
Fine! We were having a sleepover last night.
In the med bay?
It didn't start in the med bay.
We were just hanging out in Watari's room.
For a while, yeah, but then we thought it might be cool to go down to the med bay and try to summon Sasaki's ghost?
It didn't work before you ask.
Are you guys genuinely fucking crazy?
You shouldn't go messing with undead spirits like that.
It's just girl stuff. You wouldn't get it.
Okay, so hold on. Is that where the fire damage came from?
Well, see, I tried to do a summoning dance.
What the hell does that even mean?
Well, I mean, dance is very spiritual, and fire is very spiritual. So, I thought that, it was worth a shot, so...
We almost burned down the med bay and we didn't even get to see a ghost.
But we did see Kamimura.
Yeah, we did. Why were you in the med bay?
Fuck it, let's not drag this out. I was getting painkillers.
What? No, you weren't. You didn't even come inside. You just came to the door for like 3 seconds and then left.
Because you guys were doing weird shit. I didn't want to walk into whatever the hell you guys were up to. So I just got some ice and went back to my room, okay? I didn't do anything.
But I never saw you leave.
You had already gone back to your room. I woke up and I needed some painkillers, so I went to the med bay. That's literally all that happened. Can we move on?
So is that where the blood came from too?
Huh?
The blood in the med bay. Was that you guys too?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the blood. No, that wasn't us at all. I've got no idea where that came from.
Does that mean someone else was in the med bay after us?
Looks like your name's not clear yet, Toshi.
Don't call me that.
We also found a gun in the med bay. Don't forget that part.
Oh, hey! Yeah, that's definitely relevant.
Can I see it?
Sure. Just be careful, please.
I will.
But, yeah. We know what the fire damage was from now, but there's still the blood, the gun. What else?
There were a few pill bottles missing.
Right, there was a...
Jesus!
Oh my god!
Huh.
What the hell was that for?
Kamimura passed out.
What? Huh?
I just wanted to see if he would.
Why?
Because if the sound was enough to knock him out again, I don't think he can be guilty.
What do you mean?
Did nobody else hear the noises last night? There were 2 big bangs, right? Nobody else heard them?
What? I didn't hear anything.
Seriously? Okay, so after we finished up in the med bay, Tamba and Okazaki and I went to the dining room to go get some snacks, yeah? And while we were there were these 2 big bangs. We ignored the first one, but then 20 minutes later, a little while later, there was another big bang.
We were starting to get really freaked out. So Okazaki went to go check it out for us.
Right. I thought the sounds were coming from the auditorium, which was confusing because it was supposed to be locked, right?
Yeah.
But then I realized you could just get into the AV room. There's no door to the stairwell, just a curtain. So, yeah. I just went in. No problem.
What?
Was that not intentional? If not, it seems like a fairly glaring oversight.
Wait, so, Okazaki, you went to the auditorium in the middle of the night.
Yes?
And you didn't see anything weird?
I mean, I saw the ladder on the floor, but that's about it.
You didn't see Chiba?
No.
I don't understand this timeline at all.
For real, what? The ladder fell before she died?
That can't be right.
I just assumed the bang was the ladder and went back to the dining hall.
You didn't put any thought into what might have knocked it over?
I didn't really care. I was in the middle of a social event.
But what about the other bang then? The ladder couldn't have fallen twice, right?
Then, maybe the gun?
How many bullets are in it?
Well, it's a 6-shooter, so it can hold 6 bullets. But right now, there's 4.
4. And you just fired one. So when we found it, there were 5?
Good math.
So then before we found it, someone had already fired it.
Then I bet that was the second bang.
Wait, I'm even more confused now. The gun got fired and the ladder fell, both before Chiba died. So what was even happening?
That's honestly a really good question. I'm kind of confused too.
Well, hold on a minute. Maybe we're thinking about this the wrong way. The only thing we're going off of is that Okazaki didn't see Miss Chiba, right? Perhaps that doesn't mean she wasn't there.
You think Okazaki just missed her?
Potentially. But I don't see how.
Maybe she was in the vent.
The blood in the locker rooms and in the med bay went through the vents?
Wait, but hold on. The only vent is in the gym, right? So the blood couldn't have...
The only usable grate is in the gym. There's still smaller vents in a bunch of other rooms. Only like the size of a soda can, so no good for climbing through, but definitely enough for blood.
So then, she made it in. What the hell happened?
If that's really what happened, it definitely narrows down our options to people who can fit into the vent.
But that's barely anyone.
It's Wada, Kamimura, and... Is that it?
Huh?
And we already ruled Kamimura out, so...
We did?
Don't worry about it.
But we ruled Wada out too. I was with him all night. He was on oxygen. There's no way it could have been him.
What if only Chiba was in the vent? Could the killer have hit her from outside?
With a gun? Sure.
But we didn't see any bullet holes in the actual duct. They would have had to shoot her through it.
And if they shot her from outside the vent, they still would have needed to get her out the vent. Right?
Then maybe we can rule out the kill happening in the vent after all. If only Wada and Kamimura can fit in the vent and it couldn't have been either of them, that's it, right?
They could have gotten her out. Part of the rope was tied around her waist. They could have pulled her out.
I think it's probably important that we figure out how Chiba died.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, there was blood, right? From where?
We weren't really sure. I couldn't find any wounds on her body.
If there was blood in her mouth, then...
Then maybe she was poisoned!
Oh my god, please, no, we're not doing this again.
No, hear me out! There were pill bottles missing from the med bay, right? Hiroaki mentioned that.
Well, yeah, but...
So maybe it went down like this. Chiba's in the auditorium. She's trying to climb the rope. In comes the killer, and wow! They've got an energy drink just for Chiba! How nice! Except it's full of poison!
But the drugs in the med bay don't...
She drinks it, climbs up into the vent, and bam! The poison hits! She coughs up a bunch of blood and dies. The killer pulls her out, hangs her up, and calls it a day.
Stop saying it like you're excited about it.
It would explain why there's no wound. It would explain how she died in the vent. It would explain how...
There's blood on her back, Tamba.
Stop pitching this every time someone dies.
There's no way she could have coughed up so much blood that it ran through the vents and into the next room over.
Stop describing it.
The only thing that would make you bleed like that would be a good slash to the... Oh, shit!
Her neck. It's gotta be on her neck.
Of course.
Okay, well, that makes this even more confusing, because how the hell did they get her in the neck while she was in the vent?
There's no way they'd have the accuracy to shoot her in the neck through the duct.
And again, there were no holes in the duct itself.
But I mean, it had to be the neck, right?
Definitely, but I really don't understand how.
Maybe it would help if we could narrow down the possibilities a bit. Who could have been in the auditorium last night?
Watari and I were together all night.
I was in Wada's room. I didn't sleep at all.
I was sleeping all night, but Tsuno was watching me, so she knows I didn't go anywhere.
Yanagi and I were both in my room all night.
I was asleep.
I left my room for a bit to go look for Okazaki, but that was it. I only ran into Hasegawa.
You were looking for me?
I was, yeah. I was gonna ask for my reward back.
Oh.
And Yanagi was tied to Hayashi's bed. So let's see what we've got. It absolutely couldn't have been Wada, Tsuno, Yanagi, Tamba, or Watari. Everyone else is still completely unaccounted for.
The hell? I was with Yanagi.
By the door, right? That's what you said. So it would have been easy for you to just slip out once Yanagi fell asleep, correct?
Did anybody see me last night?
Nobody saw the killer going in and out of the auditorium either. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's like Takeshi said, plenty of good evidence gets lost to bad timing.
You can't be serious.
Well, I mean, Hayashi would have known about the auditorium stairwell in the AV room, right? She did spend a lot of time up there yesterday.
What? Are you kidding me?
Hold on a minute.
She would have been able to climb the rope pretty easily, too. She's certainly strong enough.
There's no way it would hold me. It's made of cheap bed sheets.
Plus, you've got a violent streak.
What?
Don't remind me.
Kamimura, did she leave the auditorium at all during the investigation?
Kazutoshi.
I mean... for like a few minutes, I guess, to go check the incinerator room for another ladder, but like...
Huh. Interesting.
Hold on! The incinerator was... It was already running when I got there! I didn't do anything! Okazaki's the one who admitted she went to the auditorium last night!
Right, but the entire rest of the night I was accounted for. Plus, I stuck with Wada for the entire investigation.
There's no way in hell I would have fit in the vent!
Pretty sure we already established that fitting into the vent isn't a necessity.
Finally, the meathead's meatheadedness shines through.
Enough! It wasn't my...
No?
No.
And what makes you so sure of that one?
I didn't sleep last night.
What?
I imagine it's probably a little hard to sleep when you're zip-tied to a bedpost.
By the look on his face, I'd say more like it's a little hard to sleep when you're sleeping in a girl's bed.
You're kidding me.
The relevant part is that I was awake last night, and I know for a fact that Mai didn't go anywhere. She slept all night.
What a dork!
Stop being a kid about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if Yanagi is telling the truth this time...
I am. Genuinely, I am.
Then we can rule out Hayashi too. Everyone else is a potential suspect.
Well, I mean, technically, I guess, but you don't really think Hama would kill her, right?
I mean, I'm kind of starting to think Hiroaki killed her, quite frankly.
Well, I'm not particularly...
What?
Yeah, hold on. What?
Well, it's just that he still hasn't given his alibi.
Oh, yeah. Nakamigawa, give them your alibi.
What? Gladly, if it'll stop me from getting baselessly accused of murder! I was in Takeshi's room.
He only left for like 5 minutes. He was there the entire rest of the night.
Where did you go?
If you must know, my head was feeling like shit. So I went to get a water bottle from the storage room. That's it!
I think I would have noticed if he came back covered in blood or something.
But you slept in Hiroaki's bed, right? So what about after you left your room? You both would have been alone.
I was asleep! I didn't wake up until the morning announcement!
Somehow I have trouble believing your story.
What?
You think he's lying?
Maybe not lying, but maybe not telling the entire truth.
Based on what?
Well, you have a lot of trouble sleeping, right? That's the whole reason Ojima doesn't wake you up, right? Because you're an insomniac?
Yeah, so what? That doesn't mean I don't sleep ever!
Well, no, obviously. But it does seem a little strange that you could be feeling unwell, get up and walk around, then come back and go to sleep with no issues. Especially when Ojima makes it sound like any disturbances at all prevent you from sleeping comfortably. Why was last night different?
Stop looking at me like that.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm not mad. I'm just... Yeah.
Huh?
It was just so I could get to sleep.
I don't get it.
He self-medicated.
That's a very polite way of putting it.
So I guess we found the missing bottles.
Why is everyone suddenly on my ass about it like it's anyone else's business? The point is that I was asleep, okay? So I didn't do anything. Okazaki literally went to the crime scene.
Yeah, I was thinking about that actually. It's really weird that you didn't see the body, Okazaki.
Is it?
No matter how I put it together in my head, I don't see how Chiba could have died after the ladder fell.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. Plus, there's no way the gun's not involved, right?
How did the gun end up in the med bay, though?
I still don't even understand how the gun was involved.
Hey, we're getting disorganized again. Let's focus.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. Just one more and then I'll stop interrupting. Nakamigawa, when you went to the med bay last night, was the blood already there?
Ugh. God, yeah, right in the middle of the room. It wasn't like you said, though. Not when I saw it. There was no smudge, just drops.
And you didn't see the gun? It was in the cabinet you would have been in.
I definitely didn't see a gun. I'm 100% sure of that.
Then, okay. That at least helps narrow down the timeline a bit.
So someone else went and hid the gun in there after Chiba had already died.
It has to be relevant. I'm pretty sure we can definitely say that one of those bangs was a gunshot.
Okay, but who actually heard the bangs?
Watari, Okazaki, and I all heard them.
Didn't hear shit.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm pretty sure I didn't hear them.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I heard one of them, but not the other one. I'm not sure if I heard the first bang or the second bang, though.
I didn't hear anything.
Me neither.
Then, it kinda sounds like you couldn't hear it from the dorm rooms at all.
Which bang came first, though? The gun or the ladder?
It had to be the gun, I think. Because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to get to Chiba. But how did Okazaki not see her?
Okazaki, just a quick question. When you went to the auditorium, was the rope still hanging all the way down to the floor?
It was.
So then she couldn't have been in the vent, right? Since the end was supposed to be tied around her waist.
Then she had to already be on the rope. So how did Okazaki not see her?
The rope was pretty long. Part of it could have easily still been near the ground, especially with how Chiba was using it. The end wasn't tied. She had it wrapped around her and was shifting it as she went up.
Hey, Okazaki,
Yes?
Where are you going?
how many fingers am I holding up?
6.
2.
Huh?
You have got to be kidding me. How many fingers?
5.
7. She's got no peripherals.
I do. I do have peripherals.
Because of the mask?
Why would you wear something you can't even see in?
I can see things that are in front of me.
But not above you, apparently. So there's no way you would have seen Chiba even if she was there, which I bet you 1,000,000 yen she was.
Then I walked right under her?
How could you miss her?
Ugh, I can't take this anymore. How have we been talking for this long and we still don't even know how she died?
We still don't even know what got incinerated.
Exactly.
I bet the incinerator's done running by now. Are we allowed to go check?
I'm afraid not. The investigation period has long since ended.
We know she was bleeding and we know a gun was fired. What else do we know?
Well, I mean, we haven't really talked about the blood in the auditorium yet, yeah? On the mattresses. Why were there 2 separate bloodstains?
I'm a bit hung up on that myself.
But at the very least, we know she was killed while she was still inside the vent. There's no way the blood could have gone through the ducts otherwise. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll back that.
But how?
Hey, call me crazy, but here's an idea. What if Chiba's the one who fired the gun?
What?
Yeah, what?
What if somebody chased her up the rope? She climbs into the vent to escape, they try to follow her in, she fires, probably misses, since I don't think anyone here's got a bullet hole in them at the moment, and then they stab her in the neck.
With what, though? We didn't find any other weapons.
I definitely don't think we should write off this idea, but, who else can even climb that rope?
Again, we've already ruled me out. So, while I can climb the rope, it's fairly clear that I didn't climb the rope.
Who are our options?
Hama, Harada, Okazaki, Ojima, Hiroaki, Hasegawa, Kamimura. And that's it.
Can that really be everyone we've got left?
Feels like we're getting close.
Oh, but that's still 7 people.
And we've kind of already ruled Kamimura out. Either way, I don't think he could have climbed the rope.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So just Hama, Harada, Ojima, Hiroaki, Hasegawa, and myself.
I promise you, I wouldn't be able to climb that rope. Not even after watching Chiba do it 100 times. I have no idea how to do that thing she was doing with her feet.
If it can't hold Hayashi, there's no way it could hold me.
Is it really down to just us? That can't be right.
Where did Chiba even get a gun?
Wow, interesting. Hiroaki immediately trying to derail us again. Shocker.
It's a valid question. It's not suspicious to want all of the answers before we start sentencing people to death.
It seems a bit unfair for one of the players to have a gun.
But I mean, there's definitely no rooms in this school that would have a gun in them. Does that mean it had to come from outside the school?
How would someone get something in from outside the school, though?
We're getting derailed. We were focusing on the rope. Are we all already forgetting about the rope?
Do you want me to get their attention? I can fire another round if you'd like.
I don't.
Excuse me.
Did someone smuggle it in?
It definitely would have been confiscated.
Yeah, I don't think smuggling's really an option.
Excuse me.
Is it a real gun? Are we sure?
I mean, I fired it, so yes.
Maybe it came with somebody's workstation?
Excuse me! Sorry, but I think it was probably someone's reward.
Huh? Who would have a reward like that?
Well, there's a few people whose rewards we never found out about, right? So, maybe that was one of them. That's the only way I can think of where a foreign object would make it inside this school.
But who would have a reward like that?
I guess we never really did find out what Chiba ended up with after the swap.
Watari, you've got the chart of everyone's rewards, right?
Yeah, should we run through it?
That's probably a good idea.
Okay, off the top of my head, Isono got one of her hoodies from home, Sasaki got her journal, Chiba got kitty, Tsuno got that old photo, Okazaki got the paint kit, Hayashi got her knife, I got my fire dancing sticks, Tamba had the trophy, Wada got his manga, Ojima got that sketchbook. Wada wouldn't tell us what Kamimura got, but can you at least say whether or not it's a gun?
It wasn't a gun.
Nope, no gun.
Okay, so he got some kind of non-gun item. Hama got the salt, Harada had that necklace. And Wada wouldn't say what Hiroaki got.
Not a gun.
Not a gun. So, the only ones we don't know about are Hasegawa and Yanagi, right?
I certainly didn't get a gun.
Yeah, me neither.
My mother has a necklace with both mine and my sister's birthstones on it. She passed it down to me last year. That's what I received as my reward.
Oh, that's yours? I have that. I'll give it back as soon as the trial's over.
I wouldn't be so quick to promise that if I were you. You're still a suspect, after all.
Huh?
Okay, but whose reward did I get? It's a hair clip with a little flower on it, like something a little girl would wear.
That's... really? That's mine. Can I have that back?
Huh? Why would you?
None of your business. It's his reward. I can verify. Give it back.
Okay, jeez. Anyway, that means he didn't get the gun, so then what? Either someone's lying or the gun wasn't a reward.
Well, I can't really verify everyone's reward, but I know I saw Yanagi's necklace while we were investigating. I think the only ones I never saw were Hasegawa's thing and Okazaki's paint.
You are pretty nimble with that gun, Hanano.
Me?
Good point.
Is it yours? You said you got paints.
I may have lied.
Guns are not paint.
Right? That's why I said I lied.
You got a gun? Why did you even have a gun at home to begin with?
This doesn't look very good for me, does it?
Well, I mean, hold on. Did you even get it back after the swap?
No, I didn't.
I kinda believe her. I think somebody would have mentioned getting a gun in the swap unless they planned on keeping it a secret.
Wait, so then who got the gun?
It had to have been Chiba. Right?
Had to have been.
So our running theory is that someone followed Chiba up the rope. She tried to shoot them, missed, and then got stabbed. Then the killer pulled her out of the vent, strung her up, knocked over the ladder, and left?
That just doesn't feel right for some reason. What could they have stabbed her with?
Whatever they incinerated, I guess.
Rabbit, you're sure there's no way we can go check the incinerator?
I cannot allow that.
Then, what now?
I guess we turn our attention back to the rope. Who could have climbed it?
Right. We narrowed it down to Hama, Harada, Ojima, Hiroaki, Hasegawa, and Okazaki.
There's no way it was Hama or Harada.
Yeah, that seems kind of far-fetched.
Whoever it was, they had to have gotten some blood on them, right? With the amount that she was bleeding, there's no way they'd come out totally clean.
Okazaki was completely clean when she came back. It couldn't have been her.
Plus, she was with us when the bangs happened anyway.
Then we can rule her out.
Well, what about the blood on Hiroaki's bed? Ojima doesn't know where it came from, right?
So what? Takeshi doesn't know where he is half the time. That's not damning evidence.
And it really wasn't that much blood either.
What did it look like?
Huh? Oh, just a few drops.
Specifically drops.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
Then I don't think it's related. For it to be drops, he would have either had to have been actively bleeding or seriously soaked in blood. If he was that soaked, he wouldn't have been able to make it back to Hiroaki's room without tracking it through the halls. So I don't think the blood's got anything to do with Chiba. He probably just spaced out and cut his finger or something.
I've definitely done that before.
On my bed, jeez. Disgusting. You're changing my sheets.
And what about Nakamigawa? Have we ruled him out?
Why do you want to pin this on me so badly?
Because you're suspicious.
I'm not!
It couldn't have been Nakamigawa. We didn't split up once for the entire investigation. He couldn't have incinerated anything.
The hell would you know? You weren't even awake.
What?
He was spaced out for the entire damn thing. He wouldn't know.
For real?
The entire time?
Wait, hold on. I still would have noticed if Nakamigawa was disposing of evidence right next to me.
I mean, are you sure? You didn't notice when he was dragging you around the entire south wing of the school.
Didn't notice when we were yelling across the entire pool either.
I would have noticed!
Do you seriously think I'd be that stupid? You think I would be burning evidence right next to him and just hoping he wouldn't wake up?
You did go to the incinerator room, so...
So what? I'm one of the only people who was with my partner for the entire investigation. Besides, he woke up while we were in the incinerator room, so he would have seen me.
Unless he didn't wake up until after you had already started the incinerator.
That's not what happened at all!
I didn't do anything.
Why should we believe you?
Because I wouldn't kill Chiba! I wouldn't kill her! Unlike the rest of you fuckwits! Chiba actually got me! I could talk to her! I did talk to her! I told her to go climb up to the vents.
Why is the incinerator running?
Huh?
Why is the incinerator running? It's the first thing you said when we walked in the room, right? You asked why the incinerator was running, as soon as we got in. Nakamigawa didn't turn it on. I know that. I remember. We walked in, and the first thing he did was ask why the incinerator was running. It was already on.
Then, who else could it have been?
Well, Hama and Harada are the only other people on that list that split off from their partners during the investigation.
Huh? Wait, what?
If our criteria is that the killer has to have no alibi, has to be able to climb the rope, and has to have split off from their partner during the investigation, then...
Hama couldn't have climbed the rope. He's too heavy.
Then there's only one person.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
What are they talking about?
Hold on! I was in my room almost all night. The only time I left was to look for Okazaki. The only person I saw the whole time was Hasegawa.
Right. But when I ran into you, you didn't mention Okazaki at all. If you were looking for her, wouldn't you have asked if I knew where she was?
Hold on, please. It's not like that.
He wouldn't do that.
I would never hurt Chiba, I promise. I wouldn't hurt her.
Yeah, hold on. That doesn't make any sense. Those three were best friends. Why would Harada hurt Chiba?
I mean, I think the motive is the main reason anyone would want to hurt anyone.
But was the motive even really bothering Harada? He seemed pretty okay. Definitely not any worse off than the rest of us.
Exactly!
You guys need to stop throwing out shit like this as evidence. I wouldn't kill her isn't a defense. Just because you wouldn't kill her doesn't mean you couldn't kill her. You have no alibi. Harada could have climbed the rope. Harada is completely unaccounted for. Harada has a flimsy testimony. Harada split off from his investigation partner. Connect the dots.
But that's stupid! Harada wouldn't have done that!
Maybe the adrenaline gas made him act weird.
But he wasn't acting weird. He was acting totally normal.
Totally normal is his entire forte.
Hey, sorry to circle back, but I just remembered something.
Yeah?
There were 2 bloodstains on the mattress, right? Why? What if Harada wasn't the one the gas was affecting?
Wait, hold on. You don't mean...
That's too crazy.
Someone who could have climbed the rope. Someone who could have fit in the vent. Someone who could have hurt Chiba without a weapon. Someone who would have gone for the neck.
Are you saying the fucking tiger got her?
What?
Sawa?
But hold on a minute.
You're fucking kidding me.
Sawa could have climbed up that rope far easier than any of us could. Say what you want about her being gentle, or a lap tiger, or whatever it is you want to say. But she's a predator, right? She would have gone for Chiba's neck, I think.
So then, wait. The reason Chiba fired the gun was...
I don't think she missed the target. I think the target wasn't a student. Harada, where's Sawa? Harada, where's Sawa?
That's not what happened.
What the hell?
That's not what happened.
Keizou!
That's not what happened.
Where's Sawa?
Stop!
Where's Sawa, Harada?
Stop!
Where's Sawa? She's in your backpack, right? Right?
She's dead! She didn't. It was an accident.
What the hell are you talking about? What did you do?
It was an accident. It was an accident. It was an accident. She wasn't supposed to. Someone never. It was a mistake.
Keizou, what the hell are you talking about?
She got away from me. I couldn't grab her fast enough. She. I don't know what happened.
What the hell are you talking about? Huh? What did you do to her?
Hama, I'm sorry.
You fucking killed her.
I'm sorry.
Does that count?
I certainly can't blame you for raising that question. However, Harada Keizou's property, living or otherwise, is viewed as an extension of Harada Keizou as far as the game is concerned. If Harada Keizou's tiger committed murder, that blood would be on his own hands.
It was an accident. I promise it was an accident. I promise. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Hama. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What the hell did you do?
There's no way, right? There's no way.
Seriously?
I didn't know what to do. I didn't mean to. Hama!
I still don't really understand. What even happened?
I feel like it's all come together pretty clearly now, actually. But I think I want to hear it from Harada. I'm still lost in a few places.
What happened?
Hama,
If he won't do it, I can do it. I feel like I get the picture pretty clearly.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
The only thing I don't get is why you were even in the auditorium in the first place if you didn't mean to kill her.
They would hang out in there all the time while she was climbing. Cheer her on.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start from there. Honestly, the story doesn't seem that long at all. You and Chiba were in the gym, yeah? She was climbing up the rope. You had Sawa out, I'm guessing?
Right.
You had Sawa out. Chiba was climbing. I don't know if Chiba got into the vent first, or if she went up there trying to outrun the tiger. But the outcome is that Sawa chased her up into the vent. Yeah?
The sheet was moving around.
I guess she's still a cat when it comes down to it.
Sawa chased Chiba up into the vent and attacked her. We probably would have heard her screaming if it wasn't for the fact that Sawa went for the neck. Chiba tried to defend herself, fired off a shot, and killed Sawa right there in the vent. She probably didn't last much longer after that, at the very least. I hope it didn't hurt too much. The adrenaline probably helped.
Please.
Harada went up the ladder, pulled Chiba out by the bedsheet rope, and dragged Sawa out in the process. I'm guessing that's where we got the 2 bloodstains from. They both would have hit the mattresses under the vent.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Fuck.
This is where the cover-up starts. He runs back to Chiba's room, passes Hasegawa on the way, grabs Chiba's pajamas. Then he goes back to the auditorium, dresses Chiba up in an extra layer, and carries her back up the ladder.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, God. I'm sorry.
He figures the best way to cover up the wound on her neck, the one that would definitely implicate him, is to tie the rope around it so tight and so high that nobody would be able to get it out. So he knots it a few times around her throat and leaves her dangling there for someone to find in the morning. Then, he climbs back down, tips the ladder, and starts disassembling it so that nobody will be able to use it again the next morning. I'm guessing you probably used Chiba's toolkit for that. Did you grab that while you were getting close?
Yeah.
Okay, so he uses Chiba's toolkit, takes apart the ladder. Where did you end up putting the parts, Harada?
There. God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Harada.
They're in my backpack.
He puts the parts in his backpack, flips the bloody mattresses over, and then I guess he had to get rid of Sawa and the gun. That part I'm not too sure about. Where did you put her?
In the dark room.
So he hides Sawa in the dark room upstairs. Meanwhile, Okazaki had heard the second bang, so she was headed to the auditorium through the AV room. The only thing I can think of is that Harada must have heard her coming and camped out in the dark room for a minute or two to avoid her. Is that right?
Yeah.
So he hides out in the dark room, and then once she's passed by, he heads up to the medbay to stash the gun. I'm not really sure on that one either. Why the medbay?
I don't know.
He hides the gun in the medbay. I'm guessing because he thought it would make a decent red herring. Honestly, he probably would have just been better off just having stashed it in his backpack with everything else. Not much of a red herring if it ends up being evidence.
Fuck.
So then, after that, I guess he just went back to his room. That's all he really had to do until the investigation. While we were all investigating, he snuck back into the AV room, grabbed Sawa from the dark room, I went to go incinerate the last piece of evidence.
Right there.
I'm guessing he put her in his backpack. Is that everything, Harada?
When you're ready, we'll begin the voting process.
But I don't want to vote for Harada. It was an accident.
Yeah, he didn't even do anything. It was the tiger. That shouldn't count.
As stated prior, the property of Harada Keizou is considered an extension of himself, as far as the game is concerned. I suppose that makes it all the more unfortunate that that extension has been severed.
Please, don't. Don't kill him! You can't kill him! You can't take both of them away from me! You can't! Please!
You'll be prompted to select the student that you believe is guilty of murdering Chiba Airi.
Please!
After all of the votes have been cast, the execution will commence.
This isn't fair.
It shouldn't count. He couldn't have done anything.
Please press your buttons now.
I'm not voting.
Yeah, what if we just don't vote?
I'm becoming tired of repeating myself. When a blackened successfully gets away with murder, all remaining students will be executed in their place. This rule was explained to you at the beginning of the game. Keep this in mind when reflecting on both your own vote and the intentions of your suspected blackened. Only one side can escape alive.
Stop! You can't! Stop voting!
I'm sorry.
Don't fucking go!
I'm so sorry.
Keizou!
Thank you for voting. Your votes are currently being tallied and will be shared with the class shortly.
God, please.
This definitely raises some questions about what qualifies as a murder.
A lot of things, apparently.
The class has voted for Harada Keizou, the ultimate zoologist, to be executed. This conclusion was correct. As a result, Harada Keizou will be punished with death.
No!
Hama!
That's not fair!
Everything that has happened here today is both fair and just. I'm sorry that your emotional state prevents you from seeing that clearly.
Don't go! Don't go! You can't go!
You're awfully attached, considering what he did.
You can't go! You can't go! You can't go!
Hama, I'm sorry.
I'm not a fan of dragging out post-trial pleasantries. I'd like to finish things briskly, if it's all the same to everyone here.
Not yet! You can't kill him yet!
I'm afraid the trial has drawn to a close.
Stop apologizing to me! You need to apologize to Chiba!
Without further ado,
You need to stay!
Hama.
it's punishment time.